Stream is live.
Yeah, we're live, so don't use bad words. What a day! What a day!
What a
All
day.
right, so
Going.
yeah, yeah, one of those days, it's a domino effect. Hopefully, it's the end to renew ourselves into a huge crypto opportunity because this is all the way we work. So, what's up, everybody? Thank you very much for joining us. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. Um, I was just finishing another call. Apologies, and I don't want to say it was important, but it was very important for that. So sorry for the delay, guys, and sorry, Rodrigo, for making you wait.
No worries.
And and yeah, so let's begin another AMA just to talk about what is Brickken. But I wanted to interview one of our members who have been here for a long time. So a little bit of perspective. The person that you're seeing there, I know that guy since he was a little kid. We were enemies when we were 11. Then we became friends when we were 12. And right now we work together. So how's life, right?
Very interesting how we both ended up here, and how you
Yeah.
ended up starting all this is something that I remember commenting with you years back before Brick was even a thing. And yeah, it's pretty exciting to be part of it now and have it exist in all its glory.
Thanks, man. Yeah. So it's funny because yeah, we actually you're right. We talked about like I don't know 2, 3, 4 years ago. Time flies about tokenization without even Bricken really existing.
Four
So I
years,
don't remember.
it's
Yeah,
2019.
4 years.
2019.
2019. So time flies, huh?
Yeah,
Uh,
September.
all right. But this more about Bricken. It's let's get to know Rodrigo, the guy who's 24 selling tokenization to clients. So I think it's important for the community and everybody to understand what is your day to day, because on the front is kind of like what is tokenization, but you get to actually sell it to clients. So you more than anybody right now probably in the company understand the needs, the pains, the opportunities, because on your day to day you're talking with potential clients who want to use our technology. So before we go into that, let's go into some storytelling. So Rodrigo, why don't you just give us like the backbone of who you are and why you decided to go into business development and amplification and all your steps till you ended up here. I think that's going to be quite interesting because you have a very nice journey.
Yeah, the journey would be it's a good way to put it. I inadvertently started working in sales right off the bat when I finished college in Florida at this produce brokerage company called All American Farms in Boynton Beach, and that was interesting. Exposure to markets for me, it was just a job. I wasn't really pursuing a career in selling ever, and then I ended up in a corporate job in Mexico City, and I stayed there for like 4 years, and it was offering payrolling system and services. So uh, lots of money transactions being done by the company that I didn't really do myself, but visiting their clients. And I didn't like that job too much, and I found another one doing sales to macro retail in Mexico, where we were. Well, it was kind of me directing the operation as for selecting products and finding companies that were manufacturing them in China, sourcing them over there, visiting trade shows on both Hong Kong and mainland, and then coming back to Mexico, licensing them with brands and offering them to big retail, department stores, athletic chains around the country, and this kind of Walmart, Costco thing called Sam's Club in Mexico. And from there, I hated corporate life, and I wanted to go back to the tropical beaches I'm from in Mexico. And I was very familiar with a big hotel group that was starting a luxury brand offshoot from their original company. And now I kind of saw what I was thinking back then when I decided to go for that, which was my first no salary job, just based on what you could sell. And what I saw when I didn't know exactly back then was a big asymmetry. The concept of asymmetries is kind of maybe new in business by this guy called Nassim Taleb. But it's basically when you notice a market that is being pushed to a new possibility, and you kind of have that market sitting there in this particular business being an old brand of hotels that is now offering a membership to a luxury product. So it was a hunch, and I took it, and it worked very well. And that was my serious incursion into sales, purely commission based, and it was a really good opportunity, meeting clients from everywhere and any background, and just negotiating with them on the table and trying to get a deal that same day, which was the way that industry worked. It The repetition of that exercise starts having you notice what creates a selling opportunity where people jump onto the the offering. And well, you do it enough times and you don't have to pay that much attention, but you start noticing trends. You start noticing what a good opportunity is composed of in the eyes of the beholder, and how you elicit a positive response in the least amount of time to get the engagement going. And just being, I guess, an analytical guy, I broke down the process to try and modify. We had a lot of liberty with the way we would sell, and just fine tune it to create in my view, the best kind of results. And from there, I decided I wanted to do my own thing and started working with architects whose designs and work I really liked, a lot more small scale than the developments I was selling before. So closer to the things I like is always a better angle to work from when you actually have a bit of passion for what you're doing. And well, that opened an opportunity to design the entire sales process, which I had never done before. I had managed the sales room for this now Taffer Resorts company, and I've seen some strategies work, so I had a bit of confidence, and we went at it for a development on this tropical beach in Mexico called Puerto Escondido, very jungly, beautiful trip destination, and things started to work. And then I moved to Tulum, this time a larger company doing a few things, not only offering apartments, but also land and residential development opportunities for investors. And well, you and I always kept talking, and we were always very excited about the possibilities of blockchain. At that time, I saw them very clearly for real estate, allowing people access to these incredible assets that are typically not a matter of wanting to buy them or knowing they're a good investment, but actually just being able to afford them. So the opportunity changing in how much more of the spectrum it can reach with tokenization from the start blew my mind. And that's a big driver as to why I wanted to participate in this. And well, now that we're in the belly of the beast, we know that tokenization works for everything. Real estate is just one part of it, and the opportunities as for business structuring around blockchain to become more efficient, reach more people that can participate in these concepts is, I think, key to how adoption will become more and more massive, to the point where it's a regular opportunity to find a company that's offering a bit of their profit, of their business model, to anyone with a wallet. Simply as that.
Amazing. So your journey goes from e-commerce to real estate, then to tokenization. So like still like very digit, like real world assets, because in e-commerce you were transacting with I want to say dumbly real stuff, but like you were transacting with something that it's manageable and
Oh no,
it's physical.
we were sending containers to Mexico from China and distributing direct to the retailers. It was quite the real world.
And then you jump into real estate, which doesn't get more real than that. to end up in something that is it's digital fully. So how do you see your transition that from that kind of like real world into a digital? Because then I'll explain a little bit as to why you ended up with us, because this is kind of like one of the biggest motives, because you were dealing with real world assets and now we push you into the digital world asset. So for you, how was that kind of like transition?
Well, the transition was technological above all, and for me, being more akin to, I would say, analog processes, it had its curve. I mean, I remember the first good amount of months here. I was going to the office all the time, trying to listen to conversations that were going on, asking questions all the time, and we'll just, you know, always my little book in my notes and trying to learn more about the industry. It was cool that it was a bit abstract. The the whole digital sphere of things, moving away from real tangible, but taking these real tangibles to the abstract concept of blockchain, because even nowadays, few people are kind of aware that blockchain just means the train tracks. And then you have the NFTs going on some rails, and you have the digital securities going on these other rails, and you have the coins, Ethereum, those guys on these other ones. And the whole concept being understood as the digital ledger. It's kind of now taking space in the imaginarium of everyone slowly, but I do believe surely, definitely, and opening up this idea of business on chain. Markets have no more barriers as for bureaucratic processes that have been existing for decades, kind of are impeding. And this is by all means, an international digital notary and bank in one institution. I guess that you identify yourself through a wallet, you're KYC'd, you can participate in trading shares of incredible projects.
Amazing. So, I mean, that's kind of like what we're doing, kind of like the complexity, how you went from real world into the technological phase, and that kind of like it's kind of like what we're trying to build in Brickken. So it was interesting for us to bring your know-how in real world assets, and then obviously understanding more the pains, because us being too technical, we sometimes fell into trying to pass the message around. So if you, when you enter, you saw it kind of like even our language was too complex. Kind of like we wanted to explain what we were doing, but in the end we were over explaining, and people will, obviously will never ask, because when you have a conversation, you don't want to feel stupid, right? So you're like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, but you go back and it's like, I have no clue. Like what just happened? And then that's basically why here in Bricken we wanted to like step back, right? Instead of going too technological and too blockchain and talking about all these like things that were happening in the space, in reality we wanted to bring it back to earth, and then start building a sales gateway for companies to jump in, and they don't feel like they're stepping into the complete unknown. It has to feel familiar, and I think familiarity is what sells. So that's kind of like, I'm just explaining to everybody, one of the main reasons why yeah, we were, after our chat, we were like, yeah, we need to not go technical, we have to go 2.5, kind of like bring on board different players who understand like the real world with the technical, because in reality Bricken is midway. We want to be in between, kind of like the regular world, the real world assets, and then the digital assets, but the
Well,
bridge, we have to be there.
that's exactly where I think we want to be with enabling. An enabler is agile and solves problems. So if we can solve access by understanding the blockchain world, which we absolutely do, and pairing it with understanding the business world that's trying to engage with it, and then we can take them through these little bridges we build through our solution that create an easy environment for people to get their businesses through the door, and positioning Brickken as you said it, Edwin, the gateway, where this access is presented in a simple way, and the advantages are there for our clients to leverage, and the complications are done with. We've solved those for them.
Absolutely. So regarding that, you've been with us almost like what, year and a half probably, which is in block in, yeah, we always say like in crypto that's like 10 years. Using the evolution of Brickken, but talking about future opportunities and you being in the field day to day talking with clients, where do you see the biggest opportunities for tokenization? Where do you feel like Brickken it's having its best target?
So the biggest opportunity for Brickken is engaging with companies that have two factors in common, and I would describe this more than as an industry, but as two ruling factors that you can take across any industry. And clients are approaching us that have these, and it's basically commanding the attention of an audience and revenue. Those two are a great opportunity. Community will be what will command driving forces in blockchain, and companies that have in any manner a community of attention where people are already engaged with them, those are the main opportunities that we're able to seize. And from there, I can say there is a noticeable trend with renewable energies wanting to tokenize. The obvious, real estate, of course. And with that, you see innovative angles of real estate where there's companies trying to combine the use of a real estate product with the revenues it can produce into a digital asset. And that is a very, very neat market, since the popularity of real estate revenues is huge. But then again, it needs to trickle down to smaller investors too. And I really like that part of the Brickken panorama with renewables and commodities. I think are also a great opportunity for us. I mean, we've had mineral resources. We just signed a client that does precious stone mining, but construction stone, not jewelry, and just any commodity already commanding a market and having proven revenue. Getting attention from the community is always a possibility, but when they have their audience, it just makes it for a swift transaction. And that's what projects need for a good uptake, to have that initial layer of participation already brought in with the client's attention.
Amazing. So, another question is, if with all that you're doing, would you say, obviously, because our community and the market is still pushing very hard for real estate tokenization, because it's kind of like the easy and feasible way to understand how to break some asset into a million pieces if needed. What is your feeling regarding that sector? Because you come from obviously working in that sector in Mexico, then you come into Brickken for tokenization asset. What is your perspective on the real estate sector?
I think the real estate sector will end up cleaning out, in the sense that there might be a lot of people trying to do it, and we'll see that when the developers come on board, and here they might take longer than because they have fixed structures and they're harder to change. But when the people with the real construction advantage and economies of scale start doing this, it's going to be a lot cheaper for them to offer a token than people who are just not who are novel or novice at it. In the meantime, there's an ample space for many players to try their luck, but I see a clear winning horse both in property management companies that are already used to producing good revenue from their portfolio in a consistent way and have economies of scale by managing 30 plus 100 plus properties, and construction companies that can absorb finances better than individuals. I would see the real estate tokenization space kind of be defined by those two forces, but the beauty of it right now is that the canvas is still pretty clean.
I like it. Great question. So we're almost reaching the final discussion of the AMA. Why don't you tell us a little bit? How do you see 2024 for Brickken? What is your expectation or your wishes, or maybe the reality that will come through? What is it? How do you see Brickken? And obviously, with the work that you're performing for Brickken, what would you like for it to happen?
Okay, the way I could see things happening based on my time here at Brickken and kind of getting the feel of the industry is we are a long ways ahead of where things were almost year and a half ago when I joined, and I do see the adoption starting to happen, and clients coming easier with less resistance and with also a little bit more of context in their questions, and with the releases of tokens that we will be doing in the first quarter of the year and also in the last one, where we're getting a couple out there. I see the community growing. I see this becoming a source of opportunity or platform, not only for people to get their companies out there, but I think the Brickken community stands a lot to gain from direct exposure to these digital assets that we're putting together. And with every company that does a project with us, the community of investors grows and becomes more powerful. And I see us being able to engage a lot more with trying to match the appetites of our community with projects that we go for, and see tokens that clients make with us flourish, as well as partnerships, which is a big angle we have with a lot of the traffic we get for calls being supply chain finance companies and consulting companies that do international work. And these guys are ready to bridge the international limits of business as previously defined before blockchain stepped into the arena. I see things moving. I see the trends going on with ETF announcements by the SEC community, be it the not so friendly people of BlackRock, opening they're making statements that are driving forces in markets. We saw a correlation with Bitcoin taking off, increasing $1,000 in a 2-week span just this month, and with European regulation being now not only embracing but actually practicing the releasing of these digital assets, having them circulate, exchanges opening up. I think the virtues of the technology are opening way through what was the winter that the whole space went through. I mean, some of the companies that went into this winter, like any NFT venture, virtually, are not here with us anymore. I think the tree was shaken, and the stronger monkeys are out for the fruit that is definitely there.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah, NFTs and metaverse, those keywords nobody talks anymore. It's incredible how this year we went to some events and it's kind of like it became like a band word. It's like NFTs, like, oh wait, well, no, we don't say that. And it's kind of like But the trend is coming into more real kind of like thing. Payments, there's a lot of working, kind of like trying to see how that can work with crypto, tokenization, obviously. So it kind of like it's
Settlements.
becoming more mature. Kind of like we're going from the GPA, the JPEGs to actually having things that of value. Not saying that JPEGs or NFTs didn't have any value because value is to the perception of the buyer, but that have no use. So now we're trying to really go into that. So yeah, it's funny how now we don't look so mature because I remember when we were building Brickken in 2020, we were too corporate for blockchain, but too crypto for Web2. So it was kind of like we're the ugly duckling, but you know, the ugly duckling becomes the goose, right? Or it becomes like the white swan, right?
Yeah,
I think that's the start.
majestic fucking swan. Yeah.
All right, man. So, Rodrigo, it's been an absolute pleasure. Everybody, yeah, you just take a look at what building it's what Brickken is building through the sales. Rodrigo is pretty much involved in everything up to date. So, thank you for that, for trusting us and making the switch from your normal day-to-day job on real estate to going into this kind of like rabbit
Uh,
hole, and
Thank you.
hopefully enjoy the.
Feel right
So,
at home on the Brickken ship. Thank you
yeah,
very much. And hi to the community. I think it's the first time that we've been face to face, and excited
yeah.
to bring you guys some cool projects. And we're working for Brickken and BKN, of course.
Yeah, of course. So I always end up my interviews with one question, and it's, "What's your favorite pizza?"
Favorite pizza? Oh, this is a good one. So red
Oh
onion,
wow!
banana peppers, bacon, and chicken.
And how you call that? Rodrigo. It's kind of like,
Pretty much.
yeah. I guess I've never tried it. So you have what? Bacon, banana peppers, and what?
If you can get it all, it's bacon, banana peppers, red onions, and chicken with a little bit of crumbs of blue cheese.
Oh my god! Okay, I'm gonna reserve my comment because that sounds. I gotta test it. You know, you gotta taste it. All right. So maybe we can grab it on the weekend, man.
You
All
gotta
right.
try it. Yes. Great speaking to everyone, Edwin. Thanks for the space to meet the community.
Thank you very much to everybody, and obviously, thanks, community. We keep building. A lot of updates are happening behind the scenes. We've been very busy building. We hope we end up the year with a blast. So expect us to shoot some amazing news in the coming weeks because some things that have been working just got accepted. So great time to be on board because everybody's excited about 2024. And I think you just heard through Rodrigo how much knowledge we have amassed and opportunities are coming up. So Brickken is here to stay, guys. We're more excited than ever because our thesis in 2020, or with him, you heard in 2019 when we were talking, is getting validated right now. So we're not too early, guys. We're just riding the wave now.
Right on
Thank you
time.
very much, Rodrigo.
Okay.
Everybody, a pleasure.
Good evening. Bye bye.